Who can remember what they were doing at age 24? I know that on my 24th birthday, I certainly wasn't as impressive and switched on as young Irish trainer Danny McLoughlin. That's where we are this morning to find out how Danny is running this operation to take on the big guns. Danny, I wouldn't like to admit what I was up to at 24, to be honest. It's very impressive what you're building at such a young age and a young trainer really making an impression early on. How are things going in your mind? How are you feeling about the progress you're making?
Yeah, think it's going good, Frankie, anyway. Sometimes I can be a bit impatient and probably think I should have more done than I actually do, but I suppose that's what keeps you going. And look, you know, when I actually sit back and look at it, I'm happy with how it's going, to be fair, so can't complain really.
And how did you get started? When people are looking at you and think, God, maybe I'd like to be a trainer. How did you get going?
Well, that's it. Like, I just took a jump at it really and started off with one of my own horses, and then obviously I'd done the trainer's course when I was 21. But yeah, for the likes of stuff like that, with anyone who would be looking to start or advice and stuff like that, for me there was no real thought process behind it. And if I did think about it, I wouldn't have done it. Like, but you're taking on things one by one and you're dealing with them as they come. But look, that's it really, was to thoroughly think it through with taxes and wages and stuff like that.
So what was the driving force? A passion for horses? You're obviously competitive.
I've got 7 brothers, so in the house growing up, I was at home, it was always very competitive. No matter what we were doing, we'd always do the same sports or the same games, and I suppose that probably stood to me. So you're always trying to do well, and like that, the love for the horses as well. And my granddad and my uncle were into horse racing, and that's really how I got into it. And then it just really went from there. And obviously, I know it's a bit cliche, but to say to get bitten by the bug, but I kind of did, and that's it, you know. So I got into it really.
You've had a listed winner the other day. You had obviously Manny Coors running in the 1000, which was well documented. These are big races that you're running and winning early on in your career. What do you think, or do you have an approach that you're trying to do something differently here? How are you trying to make strides early on?
I'm just trying to kind of train each horse individually and trying to, you know, give every horse the attention to detail, I suppose, for each and every horse. And if I keep it that way, it's easy to do it with small numbers, and kind of have it in my head that it's just trying to keep it that way as much as I can, and that's how it could probably be a bit different, you know.
Do you feel like you're taking on the big guns? When you walk into the paddock and there's a Aidan O'Brien trained horse here, there's a John Gosden trained horse here.
Yeah, well, like, that's it, you have to take them on, and if you want to, and it's like I say, if you're going to do something and you don't want to be the best at it, or want to try and be the best at it, I can't see why you would do it.
Yeah.
So obviously, to be the best, you have to take on the best. And as if sometimes people say to me, if I have a horse in a race and they say, oh, what about this lad's horse, what about that lad's horse? It's not that you're not afraid that they're going to beat you or anything like that, but if you overthought, like, oh, how the horse is going, or if you overthought that too much, you wouldn't take them on too often, you know, that sort of way. So I don't think about that. I just try to get my horses into the best shape and the best position that I can get them into, and then go to the races. There's no hiding places at the races. See where you land, see how short you come up, or if you're able to do it. And I suppose it's been working that way so far, so I wouldn't change it really, you know.
So how do you make a good horse? You obviously need good stock, you need to work with owners, but how are you going to make a champion?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, you can, in a lot of sports, as you know, Frankie, like, you can work as hard as you want, and you can work very hard in some things, and you will get rewarded for it. Whereas in racing, you can work as hard as you want, and it's kind of unique in its own way, as in you can work the hardest, but if you haven't got horses good enough that you're able to bring forward, you'll fall short. But you just have to keep working hard until you get the opportunity with that horse that could take you up, and believe in what you're doing and believe in your capabilities to train, obviously, and then I suppose work together with all your staff and listen to everyone's opinion, and that's why good lads around me, and I value their opinion very highly. So work with them and bounce off each other and see what's best and see if it works. It's trial and error really, a lot of it, and obviously like that, it is a game of opinion, so we never know if we're right or wrong. We just have to see if it works.
So something's working for you so far. I think that's what's interesting about being a trainer, isn't it? You have to be a horseman.
Yeah.
You have to understand horses. You have to have your opinion.
Yeah.
You have to be busy on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the phone never stops. Yeah.
You have to deal with owners and build relationships with owners. You have to build a team. It's quite entrepreneurial in a way. I'd compare it to starting training and building a business and an organisation, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's it. Like, so people say, like, and the people do say, oh, the easiest part is training the horses. And look, it's not easy, but eventually it does end up becoming the nearly peaceful part.
What's your favourite part of the job then?
I love going racing and stuff like that, but I love with the 2-year-olds are a kind of horses that you don't know about yet. Trying to, because you never know what they are until, and it doesn't matter. They can cost 2,000 or they can cost 100,000 and or more. And you know, the one that cost 2,000 could come up and beat the horse that cost 100,000. You know, that sort of way. But I like going to the sales a lot as well.
Do you?
You know, yeah. So I enjoy going to the sales because. It's
like spending money.
Yeah, well, it's like looking at horses and like looking at pedigrees and stuff like that. So I love going to the sales.
I guess that's a focus for you in terms of finding an edge then.
Yeah.
Trying to go and find the right pedigree and horses and spot a sort of gem that you might be able to unearth some progress in.
So you're always learning, especially at the same. That's what I like so much about it.
Do you feel like you're making any sacrifices? I joked at the start that I wouldn't like to share what I was doing at 24, but there's some truth to that in that what you're doing is very impressive, but it's a lot of work as a 24-year-old, and you have to be here every day. You have to be on it. You're running a serious business. Do you feel like there are some sacrifices involved as a young man?
I'd say other people will tell you I'm making a lot of sacrifices, like.
But in your mind, you're doing what you want.
Yeah, doing what you want, and like that's you're enjoying it, like, and you're like that. You're with your friends every day doing it. Well, that's the way it is here. Like all my friends are, the staff are as good friends as they are staff, you know. So it makes it easier, and they all want to see you doing well, and I want to see them doing well, and we're all just pulling together, and we're all trying to help each other. So yeah, look. I don't know, you'd probably have to ask my mother or something what sacrifices I'm making, because I don't really know what they are.
I'm sure she'd be proud of you.
Yeah, oh for sure. I'd say she just let me know when she sees me, which isn't often, so when she gets a chance she tries to let me know. But yeah, no, I'm sure she is, and look, like Dad said, a big family, a lot of brothers as well, and they're doing well as well, so it's all good. Good
stuff. Well, I won't keep you any longer because I think Third Lot's about to go and exercise, but we'll look forward to following your journey, Danny. Thanks for having us down this morning, and all the best with it.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Frankie. Thank you.